Hi, I have been playing around with that a bit for the last few minutes from 2 points of view. One is getting the right notes in that what was a horn part, and I was talking about it feeling a bit like a chorale melody coming into a slower pace to the other parts, trying to just get away from thinking the notes ought to be this to actually these are the notes that sound better to me. And I ended up with a sort of chromatic descending scale, that sort of thing, slower than that. Then I was thinking, well, what pitch should this be at? Which octave should this be in? The horn idea was originally with the notes in the middle of the texture, so higher than the cor anglais, lower than the oboe and the trumpet. I tried that, wasn't certain. Bach himself certainly does that sometimes, but not always. He sometimes separates out and puts the chorale tune higher. I actually tried it lower first, and then I tried it higher, and I then thought, this sounds to me about right if I stick it way up high, perhaps in a piccolo, and the sound is something like this. Okay, work in progress. I'm not convinced that's absolutely finished, but I think it's fairly close. I'd just like to mention one other thing, actually, which this quite nicely illustrates. If I played you what is at the moment the piccolo part and the oboe part together as the piccolo starts, we get this. The bit I want to mention is this bit. So I've got a G in the oboe, I've got a G sharp in the piccolo, so they are an augmented octave or a minor ninth, depending on actually how I end up notating it. Anyway, two notes which sort of give a clashing feel, however you like to term that. Now, if that piccolo part wasn't so much higher, and I'd actually written it, say, for the flute, down an octave, we would have these two notes. A G and a G sharp absolutely adjacent to each other. Because I've put the G sharp up an octave, the power of that clash is less. It's all to do with the overtones that are inherent in any particular note. Anyway, the point is, when you've got two notes very, very close together, in this case a minor second apart, the clash is very potent. The more you separate them out, keep the notes the same but change the octave, the less potent that clash is. So from this to the one I've written, change the octave again, it retains something of the pain, of the anguish of the clash. Sorry, I can't get away from those types of words. But it lessens as the notes separate. And that's something that's very important in orchestration. How close are lines, how separate are lines, not just from the point of view of clashes, but from the point of view of how things meld together well. I need to think about this a little bit more to get it finished off and move on.